So I believe like most of you are going for, IELTS academic basically, and many of you are also for IELTS general, and there are very few number of people who go for other courses. So I'm focusing more on the IELTS academic and IELTS general for today. And so as you guys know, like except for the writing task, everything else is similar for IELTS academic and IELTS general. So in the writing task for academic, you will have a different writing task one. So where you need to explain a particular graph based question, right? So graph for some pie chart or some other things. Whereas for other things, like it's exactly the same, basically, right? So, and yeah, so that's it about it. So basically, let's say, so let me say, like for listening and reading and speaking and writing. So let's go one by one. So how we can improve or score better in these sections, basically. So here, I would say for listening, especially, it is important to have focus, and it's very important to have speed, right? So you will be having a lot of questions, and you have a 30 minutes limit. There you need to complete the around 40 questions basically, and you will have three sections, most three, four sections. The first two will be social related, and the second two will be academic related ones. Basically, for example, the first one will be a interaction between two people. The second one will be a interaction, single person speaking to a group of people, and the third one will be a academic related one, so where two people will be discussing, and the fourth one will be an academic one, so it might be a lecture or something, right? So that is the normal things that go. So what exactly do you need to focus in listening? So you need to have a lot of focus. If you miss the focus even a little bit, you will be losing a lot of marks basically. Let's say you are writing a lot of, there are multiple questions, and you are missing one question. So, and even you even don't know, like whether that person has already spoken about that, and are you do you need to go further or not, right? So then let's say you are losing a single question, it's okay, you will lose only 1 point. Let's say you are stuck there, and you are worried about that particular part, so then you will be losing a group of sequential 3 4 questions. So if you lose 2 3 points there, you will, your band score will go less by 1 point, one band basically. So maybe you are achieving 8 and you will be at 7. So listening, you need to achieve 8 for many for the IELTS general, so for many of the immigration purposes. So it's very important to have focus in listening, and also speed is very important. So you need to be quick, you need to be able to write the answers down on the if it's a computer based test, you need to be able to write it down immediately, and need to jump on to the next question. So you need, your focus should completely be on the questions. So you need to understand the questions, and you need to find what exactly they're asking for. Is it a date, or is it a number, or is it a name, or what exactly is it? And while writing down, your answers need to be correct. So there might be some cases where you will be asked to write one word or two words or three words, right? So you need to be clear what is the question they're asking. If you're writing three words when they're asking only up to two words, then you are going to lose the marks. So you need to be very focused, and you need to be clear. You need to, if you practice a lot, so you will understand the pattern of listening, and you will be achieving more. And also the speed, right? So why I'm saying speed is important is basically you need to so practice a lot for listening. It's very tricky to score points in listening. And for reading, I would say paraphrasing is very important, because most of the answers won't be there clearly, and I see a lot of students lose marks because they will be reading the paragraph a lot. So you should not read the paragraph. If you read the paragraph, you are wasting your time, because reading, time is very important. You need, mostly the first and second parts are easy, and the third part will be the difficult one, and it will have some 14 questions, out of which if you want to score 14, at least 13 14, so you need to spend at least 40 minutes or 35 minutes on the third topic, whereas the first two topics are easy and you should be completing them quickly. So you need to manage your time well on the reading part. So, and most of the questions in the reading are based on paraphrasing, right? So you need to understand what exactly is the question you are given. So both in listening and reading, you need to focus on the questions first. You don't read the topic, right? So you don't read the complete paragraph, but you focus on the questions and you understand what are the questions basically. In reading, it might be possible that the questions are not sequential. That means if you have a paragraph, so it might not be exactly possible that the first question relates to the first para and the second question relates to second para. So it is like jumbled up. So, but in listening, it's all sequential. So in reading, you need to have the skill of skimming it quickly. You need to skim the paragraphs quickly. I'm not saying you should not read the paragraphs. You should pick them quickly, skim them so that you save the time, but you focus more on the questions where you will be you can understand what exactly is the context and look for the keywords and the meaning of the thing. So it might be possible they will be paraphrasing in such a way. So you will be tricked to find maybe tricked to see that the answers are correct, but it's not exactly. For example, in the true, false, not given questions. So there are multiple, most of the people face problems in that particular part because in the true means like it is given and it is correctly exactly matching what they're saying. False means it is given, but it is opposite to what the question is saying. And not given is a case where it is not at all mentioned. So you need to be very clear on this kind of questions, and also the multiple choice questions, right? So you will be having 3 or 4 different possibilities and all. So what I'm saying is you need to focus more on the synonymization and the paraphrasing thing. You need to understand what exactly is the context. So, and try to focus on the questions more and just look for the answers in the paragraph. And so if you just find the answer, just jump. Don't try to read the complete paragraph. It will be just wasting your time. So focus more on the questions, and that way you will, if you save in my experience, you can complete the first question in, let's say, of 10 questions in the first 10-15 minutes, and the second one in again 10-15 minutes, and the third one you need to spend at least 25 to 35 minutes there. So that way you will score more in reading. Okay, yeah, I think anyone has questions still listening or reading now so far whatever we have discussed.
Ramakant, in listing module, I am facing difficulty in a multiple choice question because there is a less time, and we have 3 or 2 options. Sometimes options are lengthy, like we don't have that much time to read that options. So what should we do in that question to solve?
Yeah, there is an MCQs. There are 3 questions, right? 3 answers for that. So for each answer, try to highlight the keywords for that.
Okay.
So, and when you are listening to that particular whatever the person is speaking, so then you can actually I mean kind of delete some answers basically, right? So if you understand what are 3 different options there, and you highlight the words and you understand that thing well before that person is speaking, so you can actually I mean cross mark the ones which are not correct and then choose the correct one basically.
Okay.
So, and also you will get some time initially when you're starting in listening, right? So they will be telling like, this is the part 1, this is the explaining the things and then giving you an example. So that time you can use to understand the questions. So just go through the questions. Don't waste a single minute on during the listening. So try to focus more on the questions.
Okay. Got you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any others have any questions?
Hi Ramakant, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I need to ask one question.
Yeah.
For the reading, basically in the section 3.
Yeah.
My problem is that I'm able to manage the time. Time management is not a problem for me. Okay. But I'm not able to find the headings, list of headings, or match the content from the para. These type of questions I'm finding much difficult. What I'm going to understand from first 2 lines and last 2 lines of the para, but the heading or topic is not related to that. So how can I improve this?
This is for reading, right?
Reading, yes.
Okay, reading, it's a question where you need to match the headings and the corresponding
yes.
paragraph. That one, right?
Yes.
Yes. So there reading, the main thing is you need to highlight the things. So for every section, highlight the keywords in the question, highlight the paragraphs. So if you're, let's say there is a thing about ships basically. Let's say there are different paragraphs about the ship, and there are some related things like this ship has some life saving jackets, and this ship has some kitchen, this ship has a specific pool or something like that, right? So they will synonymize those things in the paragraphs. So for a particular question, look at the question, then try to see which all paragraphs has that and highlight those things. If you are able to exactly match one particular thing, there might be a possibility you might be confused between two, but try to choose the exact possibility one.
Yes.
So highlight more. So highlight the questions, highlight both the keywords in the questions, and then try to look in the topic and try to find exactly which particular sentence is related to this one, and then highlight that. So at the end of your exam, you can review that. So you can just go through the answers and then review if this is exactly matching. Otherwise, you can change the answers there. Change it also.
Okay, and one more thing, with your experience, can you suggest for section 3, if for matching the headings, if we read first 2 lines and last 2 lines, so getting the idea out of that will be correct?
Yeah,
we need not. We should read.
Yeah, for reading, you need to do the quick skimming. So you need to learn the skill of going through this paragraphs quickly. You need to skim a lot basically. So you should not spend too much time, but try to find the exact sentence which is matching this context of the question.
Okay, and for listening MCQs, one person has also asked them the MCQs that are coming in section 3 basically. So how to solve that? Because when they are speaking, so they are speaking all the options. Sometimes they are speaking 2 options together. Then they are coming to the third. So it is. I'm getting confused about which option is to choose.
I mean, they do trick a lot. Like in IELTS, they do trick a lot in these parts where they will say one thing and then you might think that, okay, this is the answer, I am able to find it. So, but they are synonymizing it. So they will be answering all the 3 parts, but you need to find the correct one exactly, like which is the closest one basically.
Yes, yes.
So you need to be very focused there and try to understand the context rather than the keywords. Try to focus more on the questions and try to understand what are the different, before the person is speaking on that. So you need to be able to highlight the things there, and you need to understand what are the different options given and try to see what exactly that person. And another important thing in listening is you need to have the current question in your mind and the next question also in your mind at the same time. Because let's say the person is speaking, so you will know, like he will be speaking sequentially. So if you miss the current question also, you will know that okay, he has jumped to the next question, and you will go quickly there. Hi, yeah, hi Pavitra.
Actually, I have a doubt. Like in writing, what are the grammar things they expect, the examiners expect actually, apart from the complex sentence?
Okay, yeah, grammar, yeah, basically, I would say like they will expect all different kinds of tenses, maybe like the present, past, and future, and also different variations of sentences that you are doing. And grammatical range, they say it is grammatical range and accuracy, right? So the grammar should be having different kinds of sentences, whereas the complex sentences will come under cohesion, right? So cohesion will, there are 4 parts in writing: task response, coherence and cohesion, grammatical range and accuracy, and then we have the vocabulary. So grammatical range means it should have all different kinds of tenses, past, present, and future, and also all different variations there, like simple, present, simple, different kinds there. So, and your grammar should be correct. You should not be wrong. You should use the grammar correctly. But I believe most of the people who do have some kind of grip don't need to worry much about that, but they need to worry specifically on the essay structure and the complex sentences. But I think we cannot improve this grammar quickly. So it's a difficult thing to improve if you have an exam in 1-2 months. So try to focus more on the essay structure and the complex sentences, building complex sentences with the correct words. I mean, correct connecting, linking words and all those things. And also try to add more idioms or phrases. So you can focus more on that, in my opinion.
Can we use idioms and phrases in writing?
Yes. I mean, so you can use some kind of idioms like, so there are some collocations that do happen, right? So you can use 1-2 idioms at least, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And using vocabulary, how can we? Are they expecting high-end vocabulary, or how they are expecting?
I don't think they expect high-end vocabulary. The main thing they will be expecting is synonyms, basically. For example, you are writing about movies, right? So then you will need to think about different synonyms for movies, films, cinemas, movies, and box office is one particular word that's heavily used for cinemas, and actors, actresses. I mean, OTT nowadays, OTT is also there, and TV shows, all these things. Like these are all different synonyms. These are not high-end vocabulary, but you should be able to demonstrate a specific, I mean, variation of synonyms, in my opinion. But having good vocabulary is also a plus point, basically.
Okay.
So
Okay,
if
I
you,
want to ask in the reading that I am lacking in doing the correct answer for true and false and a list of headings. So is there any trick by reading first 2 lines and last 2 lines we can find out the correct answer for list of headings? And for true or false, it is more, there will be more contradiction for finding out. For finding out true and for finding out false and not given, it is there will be more controversial, I am thinking.
yes, yes, Adnan. So basically, what true, false, or not given means, basically in IELTS is true is something that is given and it is as per the given sentence. It's actually matching the given context. Whereas false is it is given and it is contradicting a given sentence. Whereas not given is something that is not at all mentioned there. So it's many times lot tricky, but you need to see if that sentence, whatever is there, is it actually given there? Is it mentioned about anywhere? For example, if you are asked to say like uh, there are children of different ages in a particular, in the paragraph they have described about different children, and they are talking about they have not talked about whether they are going to primary or secondary, or I mean, so if there is no description about whether they are going to any educational site, and they have given you the answer saying they have gone to they related to education. So if it is not at all discussed in the paragraph, then you need to say it is not given. And there is mostly there is a confusion between false and not given, because you will be assuming that it is not there, and when you are saying it is false, but it should be there in the thing and it should be contradicting whatever is given in the question, then only you should make it as false. I agree it is a difficult thing to I mean answer basically in the exam, but with more practice you will get to do it. Actually, I would say you need to practice at least 30 to 40 exams to exactly master the listening or reading.
And for list of headings, Ramakant, I am
Yeah.
lacking with time, and there will for paragraph it is taking more time to me for the list of headings. If I don't know the synonyms of a particular word, how can I find out the exact answer for list of headings?
Yeah, so first list of headings, right? So you can just go through the list of headings a bit, right? So you can just try to skim through the headings, whatever are given there. And when you are going and then highlight some things there, like for example, you are given about birds, right? So for each sentence, what is a keyword there? And then when you are going to the paragraph, try to highlight the key important things there. What is discussed in that particular paragraph? So highlight the key things there and try to match them.
Okay.
So that way there might be possibilities you will be confused, but still at the end of the thing, after understanding that, you will get some clarity there. So but for reading, the main thing is you need to highlight the ideas and highlight the keywords, but don't highlight everything. So if you highlight everything, you will be confused at the end. So you need to highlight only the important sentences basically.
Okay. If